Okay, so we're working on Chapter 5, SAM Project 1A. And again, we're sticking with the FlexCab company. And make sure that you rename this to 2 before you submit it. This step right here. Alright, so it says Andrea Lopez works in the accounting department, and she has created a workbook to track quarterly revenues. She's asked you to apply consistent formatting to the worksheets in the workbook, as well as update a worksheet that tracks the company's consolidated results. Further, Andrea wants you to add a worksheet to be used to input revised results to reflect the recent merge. Okay, so let's get started. It says in the Q1 worksheet, so let's move over to Q1 here, increase the indent of the cell contents in B10 by 1 indent level. So if I click on B10, all I need to do is come up into my alignment box, and I've got an increase and decrease indent, so we're just going to click that once. There we go. Alright, number 2, it says enter a formula in cell E5, so E5, using the round function to calculate the average fare for the area in and around the city and the citywide total. The average fare is calculated by dividing the total receipts, D5, by the number of rides, C5. So, because it says enter a formula, that means that we are not using a function. Okay, so we're going to equals, and it said we're going to take D5, which is right here, total receipts, divide it by C5. Oh, I apologize. We're supposed to use a round function. Should start there. Okay, so round D5 divided by C5. Okay, you'll round the value to 2 decimal places. So it says the number. That's how we get the number, D5 divided by C5, and the argument by entering the comma. And then the number of digits is 2. We can hit enter or close the parentheses, either one. Okay, but it gives us this answer right here, $50.44. And that's it for that. So now it says, using the header and footer elements, add a header to the Q1 worksheet that displays the sheet name in the center header section and the current date in the right header section as shown in figure 1 on the following page, which is right here. So it should say Q1 here and the date. Okay, the date shown is going to be different because we're putting in the date now that we're doing it. So there are a few ways to do this. Most people might be tempted to go to Insert, and over here, I believe it's under Text, we have Header and Footer. Okay, there is an easier way to do it. If you go to Page Layout and Margins, and drop down and click on Custom Margins, we get a button over here that says Header and Footer. So all I need to do is click on a custom header, and it gives me the 3 sections. Section 1, right in the middle it said put Q1, and then in the right section it said add the date. So if I come over here, I've got a little date button, click date. Now it's always going to be consistent. Click OK. It shows me what it looks like. And then it says add a footer, not for external distribution, so I'm going to copy this actually, in the center footer section. Now, custom footer, center, Control V. I'm just pasting that in here so that it says not for external distribution. Click OK. This is what the top of my sheet looks like in the bottom. And if I hit OK, we don't see anything here. And you notice that it says switch to normal view. Now, what's happening is these little buttons down here. Let me move this up a little, tiny bit. This is page layout. This is normal. So if we go to page layout, this is where they were asking you to put the information before. And this is the header footer view. Okay, but you have to scroll up and down to get to all this information. And then in order to get out of it, you just click the normal view button, and it shows you this. Okay, these little lines right here show you the size of your page. So this is how big your page is. You can also get those lines by adding buttons up here, and in this case, print preview, okay? If I click on print preview, it'll show me those lines too, so if I ever want to see them. But that's an easier way to put in your header and footer. If you want to make sure that it worked, go to print preview, and you can see that it shows Q1 up here, and the date, and not for external distribution on the bottom. So we're good. Let's go back and continue. So, number 4, go to the Q2 worksheet. So let's head over to Q2. Oh, I wonder if I was supposed to drop that down. I would assume so. I must have missed a step. Okay, so copy the formula but not the cell formatting to E6 to E10. This is step 2. So, to copy the formula and not the cell formatting, let me show you what will happen. If I copy this, it formats the cell to look exactly like that. So let's undo that. Control Z to undo. Let's go to our home. We're going to click copy, all right? And what's going to happen is we're going to select where we want to paste. We want to paste here. And then from our paste drop down, we are going to select one of these options. But in this case, I want the fare to stay the same. If I click this, you can see that the citywide total has a very weird number, and it doesn't represent how the rest of the numbers look. So if I come over here where it says formula and number formatting, it keeps it consistent across the board, okay? That's what we want to choose. So I apologize for missing that, but let's move forward. And it says go to Q2. And it says copy the formula from cell C10. So that's right here, into D10 without copying the cell formatting. All right. It says hint, use the paste gallery. So again, we copy. I select where I want to paste it, and then here it says without the formatting. So we just want to come over here, and we want to keep the formula is all we want. We just add the formula, and now everything's perfect. Okay, so it says now step 5, group Q1, 2, 3, and 4 worksheets. Okay, make the following formatting changes to the grouped worksheets. Now it doesn't matter which one we're on, but to group a worksheet or set of worksheets, okay, I'm going to click on the first worksheet here, and I'll hold Shift down, and then click on the last one. Now these are all grouped together. Any changes I make on one sheet is going to get made on the rest of the sheets. And I'll show you. So it says apply heading 1 to B2 to E2. So if I go B2 to E2, and then I've got my cell styles, and it says heading 1, we can see that it's changed, right? Well, if I click on cell 2, you can see that it's changed on every single one of the other sheets that we're working on because they're grouped together. We can also tell that they're grouped because if I right-click, it says ungroup. All right. So as long as we're clicked here, we can click off and ungroup them by right-clicking and ungroup or clicking on a different sheet. So to select them, select the first one, select the last one. I can hold Control and select the rest of them if you want. It's easier to just use Shift. All right. So we did A. B, change heading, apply the heading 2 to B3 to E3. So B3 to E3, our cell style, heading 2, okay. It says change the fill color of range B4 to E4 to blue accent 1. All right, so the fill range B4 to E4 to blue accent 1. So we have blue accent 1. All right, and it says 5th column, let me read this, 5th column, 1st row of the theme colors palette. All right. Let me select blue accent 1. Okay, see how it says blue accent 1 underneath it? Now all of these have changed, so they all look the same. Change the text color to white. Now we don't have to worry about that because if we look at that cell style, we can see that it automatically changes it to white. It didn't keep it black like here. It automatically populated it to white. Okay, so we don't have to do that. Now it says apply the total cell styles to range B10 to E10. So B10 to E10. Again, we're changing cell styles, and we're going to the total, which is under titles and headings. All right, and then ungroup the worksheet. So right-click on my worksheets, ungroup. Now I can select any one, but you'll notice they all look the same. Okay, so they all look the same. All right, now it's asking us to group all of these, including consolidated. So I'm going to click on the one that I want to start with, hold down Shift and click on the last one. Now I've got them all selected. Edit B7 to replace the word south with south. Well, we have an error. So I can double click in here to add my cursor, or I like to work up here. So it's easier to work in here because I can click in any cell and add my cursor up there. So I can just come up here, add the U, hit enter, and it's changed. Now if I look on any of these sheets, it all says south instead of south. Okay. Number 7, go to Q4 and create a copy of the Q4 worksheet. Okay. So I'm just going to right click on one of these tabs, one of the worksheets, ungroup. I'm on Q4 and it says that I want to make a copy of the worksheet. Place a new worksheet between the Q4 worksheet and the 2016 Consolidated Results worksheet and rename it Q4 Revised. Okay? So to copy a worksheet, we're going to right click on it, and there's a little menu that says Move or Copy. I'm going to click that. And now it says this gives us a few things. We want to create a copy, so it's important that we click on Create a Copy. We're going to keep it in the same workbook, and we want to put it between Q4 and 2016. So what happens with this is whatever you select, the copied sheet is going to populate above. You can move it afterwards, but if you click on 2016 Consolidated, we get our copied sheet. See how we have Q4, and then this is the second copy. And then I'm going to rename it. I can double click to rename, or I can right click, rename. It does the same thing. Change the name to Q4 Revised. All right, now it says in the Q4 Revised worksheet, clear the contents of C5 to D9. So C5 to D9. So I want to clear these contents, okay? I can hit delete. I can come up here on the clear button underneath my editing tools and clear contents, okay? Now, this is what we see because we have formulas built in that it gives us this. So we don't have to, once numbers are put in here, these will automatically populate. But that's how it should look, okay? It says edit the contents of cell B3, which is right here, to read revised sales figures reflect merger with Whitehall livery. Now, if I click up in here, I just copied it, hit enter, and there we go. Now it says go to 2016 Consolidated Results Worksheet. So let me head over there. In cell C5, enter a formula using the sum function. So C5 equals sum, open parentheses. Now it says 3D references and grouped worksheets to total the values from cell C5 in the Q1 to Q4 worksheets. Copy the formula from C5 to C6 to C9. Do not copy cell formatting. Use the set, and it says use the paste gallery. Okay, so this is called a 3D reference. Now, what we're going to do is this, is we want to get cell C5 from all of Q1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm going to select Q1, hold down Shift, Q4, so I group them together. you'll notice that my function is still out here, okay? So I'm still in my work of the function that's on this sheet right here, but I've consolidated and I've grabbed these four. And now what I want to do is I want to click on cell C5, which is right here, okay? Now you can see that it says Q1 to Q4, cell C5. All right. Now if I hit enter, I'm going to end up back on my consolidated results sheet because my function is complete. Okay. Then it says copy the formula from C5 to C6 to C9, but not the formatting. Again, this is the same thing. If I use my fill handle, I'm going to change the formatting and the colors. Okay. So I just want to copy, select where I want to paste, and then I'm going to, from the paste, I'm going to just choose formulas because that's all I want to copy is the formula. Okay. Now it says in cell D5. So let me double click to unselect that. Click on D5. Enter a formula using sum in the 3D reference doing the same thing. So let's do this again. Equals sum, open parentheses. Now we want Q1 to Q4. So I left click on Q1, hold down Shift, Q4. Then I come and click on D5, which it's telling me to do, and hit enter. And now I'm back on my sheet with my completed function. I'm going to copy, select where I want to paste, and just paste the function. And there we go. Okay. Now it says open the support SC E13C5 PLA, which is the other Excel document workbook available for download with the SAM files for your project sheets. Okay. I have it open already. It's right here. Okay. So let me come back here, and it says in the 2016 Consolidated Results Worksheet, select cell C26. So 26, C26. With that selected, type in equal in the formula bar and switch to the results workbook and then select C5. Okay. So I'm going to change over to my other workbook and select cell C5. Okay. Now you can see that it's showing that I'm using this workbook and this cell specifically, and hit enter, and you can see that we've got the results from our other workbook in cell C5, 14,101, now in our other workbook. Okay. All right. It says delete the dollar signs in the reference cell to C5. In the formula bar. Okay. So this is our formula bar, function bar, whatever you want to call it. And you can see that this is an absolute reference. It will always go to C5, and we need to remove that. So two ways. You can delete the dollar signs, or click right there, hit the F4, and it removes it for us. Hit it again. There we go. You got to select the whole thing and hit F4. My apologies. But I just wanted to say C5. Hit enter. You notice it didn't change anything, but it means that this is no longer absolute. So if I drag it down, it's going to choose C6, C7, C8, C9, which means that I can essentially just copy this down. And because these are all the same color, I don't have to worry about not using or copying the formula. I can just use a drag and drop. All right, so it says now in the 2016, use the fill handle to copy cell C26 to 27 to 30. So like I said, we can copy that down. Now, if we go back to our other sheet, we'll see that we have all the same numbers. Okay. Now it says copy C26 to D26 to D30. So I am going to select C26 and then use my fill handle to go to the right. Okay. Now I'm going to select this, drop it down. Another way you can do this is to grab it across and then pull it all the way down, and you copy everything from the sheet. So if we look at the last number 215.101 and we come over here, we've got 215.101. All right. So now we've essentially taken all the information from this other workbook and moved it in here as a reference. We just need to make sure that we know where those two workbooks are. All right. Now it says apply a custom number format code to range C16 to E20 to show percentages with 2 decimal places and in negative values with red text enclosed in red parentheses. So this one's a little interesting, okay? So let's start by selecting C16 to E20, okay, which is following us. It says show percentages with 2 decimal places. Okay, so in numbers, I can easily click percentage, and now it says we want 2 decimal places. We've got 0 right now, so we're going to increase decimals. 1, 2, okay. And negative values with red text enclosed in red parentheses. So in order to make negative values, red text enclosed in red parentheses, we need to edit our cells. All right, so we're going to format them actually. So we click on our Format Cells button, go down to Format Cells, and then we're going to click on Custom because it's telling us we're creating a custom number format, okay? And right up here in our 0.0%, which is what we want, we're changing a percentage because that's what it is, we need to enter the following, which is a semicolon, okay, followed by an open bracket, red, close bracket. Then we're going to open parentheses 0.00% and close the bracket and hit enter or hit OK. Now what this is doing is saying that we're using a percentage. We want negative values, which are shown here, to be red. Click OK. So now what we have is a document that shows anything negative as a red in parentheses, which is, we want negative values with red text enclosed in red parentheses, which is what we have. All right. I know that's quite a bit to handle. It is covered in the chapter, but I can just say that, it's not used very often, but it can come in very helpful. All right, so now it says preview page breaks and insert a new page break between above row 12. So row 12 right here, okay, we want to put a page break right there. So easiest way to do a page break is to come over here and select it on this, or you can go to Insert, and maybe it's Page Layout. Yeah, Breaks, okay. So it says Insert Page Break. Now once I click that, it's changed this, and if I click on here, let me go to, there we are. So what I want to show you is, let me undo this. Let's go back here. So right here you can see these crosses tell us where the page breaks are, okay? So let me back up one more time so that that's gone because I had clicked out here. So highlight row 12. Okay, and then insert page break. Now you can see that this is showing as one page and this is showing another as another. Two ways we could check that is if we go to print preview, and we can see one page, and that's page 2, page 1. Another way is to go down to this right here, which is our page break preview, and you can see where this in gray says page 1 and page 2. All right. If we remove the page break, let me highlight the page break first. Remove it. Now you see that although it's hidden, this says page 1. Okay, and you have to select here. You can't select the entire row because it'll do the entire workbook. You just want to select exactly where you want a page break. Insert page break. Now it's page 1, page 2. Okay, we'll go back to our normal view. We can see our little grid lines that show us what our pages look like. We can verify that we did it correctly by coming to our print preview. Page 1, page 2. Great. So we're looking good. Now it says that everything should look like this, and we're done. So thank you very much, and I hope you guys have a great week.